Rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Once again, welcome back. And I am so excited about this segment. In the upcoming segment, we're going to be digging in to the issue of civic engagement and its importance for our communities. Now, we're going to share a video once again to kick this off. And please just realize that these videos have been professionally prepared ahead of time. And so they are going to go into MMCC archives. We are building forward, creating the resources to strengthen the work. But they're also going to be available on the MMCC YouTube channel, which is a dedicated channel to spotlight the incredible work and projects of the Muslim presence in Michigan. So with that, let me welcome Sister Amna Iqbal, who is the MMCC staff. Sister Amna and myself make up the MMCC staff at the present time. And the contributions that she's making are actually staggering when you stop to think that she not only has 3 children to take care of, but she also has an incredible husband who is a partner in this work and incredibly kind and patient as the work demands. And not only is she spearheading this important area of MMCC work, but at the same time, she's increasing her professional credentials. So an amazing lady, wonderful woman. Welcome, Sister Amna Iqbal.
Thank you so much for the kind introduction.
I want to ask you a quick question, and then we'll break for the video again. But let me ask you a personal question. I see you so excited and so passionate about the work that you're doing in civic engagement. From your personal values, from your personal experience, what is it that makes you so excited? And I would tell our audience that as a result of that passion, she's extremely effective and extremely successful in engaging top-level public officials in Michigan. What is it that has you so passionate about this area of work?
Well, as you stated, I'm the mother of 3, so having children definitely drives me. I want the future to be brighter for them, and I want to, just Michigan to be better. I'm a Michiganian at heart, born and raised here. I've been away for 10 years. Being back in Michigan, I just had the passion to, to make the education system better. Again, because I have 3 young children, seeing the changes that have been made just keeps the passion going. So in the 1 year that I've been with MMCC, I've been seeing the impact that, Brother Daoud and myself, along with the board members and advisors that we've had, have brought in by our projects. Just these small, projects have had such a great impact.
Wonderful. I'm very excited about coming back and digging deeper into the experience and into the wisdom, into the vision of Sister Amna Iqbal. With that, let's go ahead and roll the tape, and I believe that this tape is going to be again on community services. Muslim Capital Day. This is a wonderful opportunity to not only educate ourselves and our youth, but also to bring the issues that are important to our communities to Lansing and to meet our representatives.
As I think a Muslim, it's our responsibility to really, this is very general, but make the world a better place. And I feel that we really can if we're involved in the political process.
The first thing I'd like to tell you in regards to our importance being here today and generally being engaged in the political process, there's a saying that if you are not at the table, you are on the menu.
And it is important that their vision for us in America, about us Muslims living in it and with us, as shown today, is very remarkable, and I'm confident that it will allow us to be part of something that history will view as having altered history.
We have to realize when we're working together, Muslims and the general public, it's not one person who holds the key to a solution. It's the ability to work together.
I want to commend you for holding this event and for clearly getting our youth involved, for getting them active and participating and hopefully inspired by what they see and what they hear, and more importantly, what they can do in their lives and for our community and for our great state of Michigan.
We've been really fortunate. People have come here, have gone on to internships, running for local boards and offices, and hopefully are getting inspired to be more connected with the government and the people that they have elected to office.
We started in a room on the 4th floor here with like less than 30 people. We ended up in a big conference room in the House office building across the street, and now we are in the Capitol with not even enough room for everybody to be here. That to me is a huge success, and it's the leadership of this group that brought us together and brought us to speak to our elected officials and let them know more about us.
What is my role to make my family proud, my community proud, and my state proud? Because guys, this is yours. And we are so lucky. We're so lucky to have your talent in this room, because there's stuff you guys get. You guys are the ones that are going to change the world for us.
We have a spiritual obligation on the basis of our moral and our ethical teachings to be an example and then to call for what is good that will make Michigan a better place for everyone.
That dream starts now. You start working on it now. You start reading about it now.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome back. I don't know how many people we have in our viewing audience, but if there's even one, ahlan wa sahlan, welcome. You're special, you're precious to us. And today, you're the most important person in the world. Every single one of you. Because this event, a day of goodness, in fact, was the brainchild of one of our board members, Dr. Mohib Ayas. He has a vision and he has a passion for providing the resources that are needed in order to bring effective community services, civic engagement services, interfaith work, but especially community services. Today, we're going to have the opportunity now to have a conversation with a young lady who I have gained so much respect for, both her and her family, over the past year. Amina Iqbal is our Director of Outreach and Communications. That includes in that portfolio the critical area of civic engagement. So we're going to have a conversation over the next 15 minutes or so and tap into what she's been learning, what she's experienced, and the vision that she sees for this most critical and important area of work. We heard from Dr. Muzammil Ahmed earlier in the day, earlier in the program, about the importance of MMCC becoming a voice for the Muslim presence in Michigan. And part of whom that voice needs to speak to are our public officials. So with that, let me introduce again my friend and colleague, Amina Iqbal.
Thank you.
Sister Amina, I'd like to begin by tapping into your experience. The last year has been incredible. I mean, it's almost been like a roller coaster because, subhanAllah, literally right after I arrived in the position of executive director, you were into developing one of our major events in the year, which is Muslim Capital Day in Lansing, the state capital of Michigan. Now, you're a Michigander, or Michiganian, as you put it. Could you share with us some of your experiences last year? And then we've already had a Capital Day again in 2014, and our commitment, our dedication, is to strengthen these events and these projects to better serve building and protecting the voice and the Muslim presence in Michigan. So share with us some of your experience and weave into that this passion that I live with every day and I'm blessed to see.
Thank you. So when I joined MMCC last year to be the Civic Engagement Coordinator, I was told to plan this Capital Day, a day where our Muslim community leaders and members meet with elected officials and come together in Lansing and begin forming those relationships. And this was MMCC had been doing this for the last few years, and I was told we had between 4 to 6 co-hosts, elected officials, as hosting Capital Day. And the year I joined, again, due to having a great advice from our board of directors, board of advisors, I was told to go to Lansing and start building those relationships as an MMCC staff member. And in doing that, we ended up with 24 co-hosts last year, a bipartisan, incredible amount of support. And the amount of people that came to was maximum level last year. We had over 200 participants, and we had college students, we had high school, elementary school students join, and we ended up doing a survey afterwards. And in that survey, the youth actually stated that they would like to be more involved. They would like to engage with their elected officials. They want to talk about issues important to them. How do they start going to coffee hours? And to me, that was a huge impact. I mean, hearing that the youth want to be more involved makes any organization so much more sustainable. So this year, when we were planning Capital Day, knowing the information that the youth want to be engaged, we began forming collaboration with schools. And last year, we had 2 schools. This year, we ended up having 6 schools in attendance at Capital Day. And it not only doubled, it tripled. So again, to me, that was profound. As a former teacher, having the youth engaged just made it such a more wonderful experience. And we had pre-Capital Day debates leading to Capital Day, which again was phenomenal. We had schools all the way from Flint, Lansing, these schools coming together, which is a very rare case. So not only was the council bringing aspects of civic engagement together, but we were also bringing the communities together.
Wonderful, wonderful. Sister Amna, over the last year, I have seen you approach public officials all the way to the governor's office. And I know sometimes, I know that you're a person with deep feelings. You connect strongly with people, and you take everything that you do seriously. You place a very high value on achieving excellence. Can you share with our audience today a bit about your experience in meeting these high-level, high-profile, powerful officials? It seems like that could be very scary, but when I talk to them, they say, you have somebody really effective that we can trust, that we can communicate. How did you develop this? And I'm asking this specifically because it's critical for us to invite our community, young, more senior, to actually get to Michigan or get to events that are in their community and build this relationship and put a face on who are the Muslims in Michigan. This is a personal success story that I've observed. Could you share some tips and some of that experience?
So, yeah, I wouldn't say I was a bit nervous at first. I have to admit, the first time I went to Lansing, and I remember one of the MMCC advisors saying, you know, don't be intimidated. And I tried really hard not to be. And the funny thing is I think it was my first meeting at a state senator's office where, you know, the chief of staff flat out asked me, so you're a Muslim and you cover. It's amazing to see you as a civic engagement coordinator. How does that work? And I'm like, well, yes, I'm a Muslim, I'm covered, and I want the same thing for the state of Michigan as you do. And if I'm not out there, then, you know, who will be? So to be, you know, for me, it was a huge stepping stone doing that. And I kept his words in mind after each office I visited. And it just became easier and easier because, you know, we have to remember our public officials are there to serve us. If we don't let them know what we want, what changes we want implemented in our society, how will they do their job? So to build those relationships is the key factor that, you know, we need to start engaging them. And the only way to do that is to meeting them.
I know that an important part of the work that you're doing is gaining sponsorships or giving invitations to MMCC events where they can interface and become more aware, more comfortable with the diversity of our community, with some of the spiritual principles of our community. I think that you have started, on occasion, to take some people with you as well. Can you talk a little bit about that experience?
Yes, having students, you know, I've had a student go with me. I've had students ask how to attend coffee hours, and you know, they have been, me coming back with someone I think is so much more powerful to them because they know that I wasn't there just to invite them to be a co-host for one day. Like, I keep coming back, and you know, they're definitely not getting rid of me. I'm in fact bringing more people. So for not only the officials to see that, but also for the students and for the you know, community members who are willing to go, who are wanting to go, who are seeing the importance of going. It's so great that MMCC could actually, you know, organize and facilitate such conversations.
Well, we talk about the officials, but all of the officials have staff members. And wisdom would tell us that we need to be giving them respect and appreciation for the work that they're doing. Many times, those kinds of relationships play a very important role in keeping the doors open, the conversations open, and we need to prepare for the eventuality of the need for tough conversations. In my observation, the events have been very well organized, but I think in 1 year of work, we've already discovered our secret weapon, and I think it's food. I think it's the baklava that the staff members really respond to the most. Sister Amina, this is an election year, and I know that you kicked it off with the student debates and now the very successful event in Lansing. What do you see looking forward into the year, running up to the elections? And by the way, our Unity Banquet is almost at the same time as the elections, the first weekend in November. And you spearhead the organization, the development of that very important MMCC event as well. But what kind of work do you see ahead of us? And do we need more volunteers? Do we need the support of other community members or partnership with other organizations to meet those critical areas of contribution?
Yeah, we definitely need more volunteers. I think any nonprofit organization needs volunteers in order to be successful. Like, none of these events would be successful, you know, with the amount of volunteers and support that we have had. And in saying that, I'm hoping with election year this year, we definitely we are forming a voter mobilization project. We do need to build capacity, which is one of the reasons we're having the Day of Goodness, is there are so many projects that we are capable of and that we are doing as 2 staff members and part-time staff as well. But we need to have people vote. From various sources, I've heard only 300 Pakistanis have voted out of 10,000 in Wayne County,
wow,
which is astonishing.
Yeah.
And I want the aunties and uncles and everyone to know that they are living in a democracy. They're in the U.S. Take advantage of that. Go out and vote, and we need more people sending that message. So the more volunteers we have, the more we can, door knock and have a grassroots campaign where we could be very effective, inshallah, in getting out the vote. And with Ramadan coming, I know we have the Ramadan Fight Against Hunger. We have other projects that we need volunteers for. So this would be an appeal to volunteers to reach out to us, and we can place you in your area of interest.
Well, we have members of our community that are making major contributions in the civic arenas, not only of our state, but of our nation. And Representative Rashida Tlaib comes to mind. We had hoped to have her with us for this event. We miss her very much. We have so much respect for her. But at the last minute, she had a conflict. Let me ask you to speak a little bit about what difference it makes. Despite the contribution that's already being made, I know that we have a portion of our community that is reluctant, is hesitant, that feel that their vote doesn't make a difference. They may be uncomfortable with the direction of some of the major social decisions that are happening. What difference does it make if there's 5%, if there is 95% of the Muslim community that's registered to vote, and then that gets out to vote? What difference will that make for you when you go to Lansing, or when we invite Governor Snyder to Unity Banquet? He joined us last year. What difference, what role do our community members play? Why is it important to register the vote and then learn about the issues of the candidates and then help to get the vote out on Election Day? What difference does it make?
It makes a huge difference in the sense that we have a voice, and this is the way to show our voice. And honestly speaking, when we go to meet with an elected official, one of the first things they're probably going to do is look up our name and see if we have voted. So if I say, well, I don't want my child to be bullied in school, well, are they going to do something about it? They'll probably look up to see if I voted. It doesn't matter who you vote for. It just matters if you vote. So by not voting, we're actually letting go of a huge privilege that we have been, alhamdulillah, we're so blessed to have in this country. So by not voting, we're losing this privilege. By voting, we're not only having a stronger voice, but we're also benefiting the community, because we will be able to make those changes just by voting.
I think this is a very important point that you share, Sister Amina, because I know in other areas of work, I'll just give one quick example. In the MMCC is a member of the IFLC, the Interfaith Leadership Council, and the faith leaders held a press conference in Detroit a few weeks back to spotlight the issue of violence, continuing violence in Detroit, but to say that this is a shared responsibility. And the faith leaders are meeting together to seek solutions, but it's going to be achieved as a result of people being actively involved in civic engagement. So it ties in exactly with strengthening ourselves, because then the influence that we can bring to bear on these critical community and statewide issues is magnified. Right now, I think we appear on the radar screen, but are we significant players? Are we major contributors in the affairs of state? I think we're working to achieve that. And I just really want to, again, express my appreciation for the valuable contribution and work that you're doing. I think we have about 60 seconds left. Could you please tell me, in that amount of time, why it's important for our audience today, whether it's $5, $10, $20, $100, or a bigger contribution of 1,000 or 500,000, why, what difference does the money make? Because I know this is something that you seek in order to finance civic engagement, presence, and projects.
Well, it's very important, I feel, to donate as much as anyone can, because you're not just donating to the organization, you're donating to the state of Michigan. Our programs are impacting the entire Muslim community in Michigan. And honestly, Representative Tlaib has said this at Capitol Day, that some of her co-workers don't know a Muslim. If we have more people going to Lansing, if we have more people inviting, having more outreach committees even at masajids and having them invite elected officials, that's more people knowing a Muslim, and that's the less chances of them being an Islamophobe. And statistics show that anybody who knows a Muslim is not an Islamophobe. It was 100% accurate.
Wow.
And we just need to get out there, and MMCC, being the umbrella organization, can do that and is doing that.
MashaAllah. Thank you so much, Sister
Thank
Amina.
you so much.
Wonderful contribution to our event today, this very special event, a day of goodness. Again, we're going to take just a few minutes to remind you that to donate today, to contribute, all you need to do is to connect with our website. If you're watching this live streaming, you probably already have gone through the website. You've already seen the buttons. Just push the button. You know something? There isn't enough time in the day to procrastinate. So do it now. Some people are concerned that they may do something on impulse. In fact, most of the time, it's exactly the opposite. We have good intentions, good inclinations. When we hear information, when we are in the middle of an experience. And so our tendency is to say, well, I'll do this later. But you know what? Later opens a window for Iblis and Shayateen to come in with waswasal, with the whispering, with bringing all of the reasons why there isn't enough money. What will happen if I contribute this? Is it really that important? Are they going to be responsible with the money? We must be fearful before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for this amana, for this trust that you're placing in us. So today, my request is be generous, but $5, $10, $20 contributions can make a huge difference. As long as once you contribute, then you tell people on Facebook, I just donated to the Day of Goodness. I believe in the work that they're doing. Get online, check out, see what's happening. It's exciting. It's transforming the landscape, the future landscape of Michigan. It's creating a better community for our children and all children to live in. It's addressing critical issues. So please, just remember this passage from Al-Quran Kareem. In the 18th surah, the 7th ayat, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said it in translation. That which is on earth, we have made but as a glittering show for the earth, in order that we may test them as to which of them are best in conduct. We had someone earlier that was talking about the difference between words and action. My dear brothers and sisters, in my experience, the strongest form of da'wah, the strongest form of defining ourselves to others is through our actions, even more than through our words. Our words and actions need to line up with one another. But by the same token, you know what? Our money needs to line up with both our actions and with our words. So having said that, let's take a quick break, and we will come back with more on this incredible day of goodness. Barakallahu fikum.